Hey guys, Keelan here from BPM, and today we're going to go over how to use and set up your Concept 2 Ski Erg.
Okay, so one of the first things we want to look at is our flywheel on the Concept 2 Ski Erg. Very similar to the Concept 2 rower in that this is based on air resistance. However, we've got a little bit more plastic on the front, which is going to mean we get a little bit less air resistance through. So 10 on here compared to 10 on a rower is going to be a hell of a lot easier. So make sure you consider that when you're adjusting your damper settings. 10 of course being the hardest, most airflow coming in, most resistance, and 1 being the easiest, the least amount of airflow coming into the flywheel. So you want to sit somewhere generally between a 2 to a 7 when we're just doing regular skiing. I always say go about 1 higher than you would on the rower, but feel it out and find what's right for you.
So the next thing we want to look at is your foot positioning on the Ski Erg. So Concept 2 recommends about 18 to 24 inches away from the flywheel, but that's going to depend on anatomical differences. If you're taller, you're going to probably want to be further back. If you're shorter, you're probably going to want to be closer in. And that's just so you can get that reach with those pulls. So for me, it's about 18 inches, so I'm going to position my feet right here. Once we have our foot positioning down, we want to take a look at our handles. Now these guys are built so they have a flat part sitting against the meat or the palm of your hand. So take the meaty part of the bottom of your hand and put it right up against that flat part. So that is going to optimize your strength through that pull and make sure you have the most points of contact with your hand. So just like the Concept 2 rower, this also has a PM5 display. It's very, very similar with some differences around, it says ski instead of row. But for now, don't worry about this so much. You can press menu if you want to go through and check out everything it has to offer, but get your form down first and then you can mess around with things like units or display. Typically rowing in meters is a good way to kind of gauge your progress, and I always suggest having the 4 big zeros on your screen when you start, and that gives you things like time, your pace, your overall distance, and your stroke rate. So once we have our position down, we're comfortable with the display, the last thing we want to do is get that form down. So just like the Concept 2 rower, this is a lot of body movement with a little bit of arms last. So the first thing we do, get our grip, get our foot positioning, and then we're going to drive with our legs and our torso, pulling through with our arms last, keeping a nice little bend in our arms as we pull through. Arms back up, legs, torso, and then again, repeat right through that stroke. You want to make sure this is mainly a torso or crunch movement with the legs following behind, and then lastly through the arms. This should be very tiring for your legs and not quite as tiring for your arms, just like on the Concept 2 rower. So if you're finding that your arms are fatiguing really quickly right away, make sure you put a little bit more legs into it or get a bit more crunch action out of it. So as I'm coming through, I'm bringing my torso down, knees are bending into kind of a quarter squat, arms are staying bent at about a 90-degree angle, and then I'm going to bring them through right by my pockets, return them back up, body comes up, and you may just naturally come up onto your toes as you do that release, and that's okay. It might give you a little bit more power. We're keeping those arms nice and tight as we come through, just like that, back up. You may notice what I'm not doing is I'm not trying to fully extend my arms. So this isn't a tricep workout. Think of it as more full body. We're getting a lot of strength through the torso, through the legs, finishing off with the arms. And again, this is meant to be a cross-country skiing trainer more than it is a simulator. So don't think of it like you're exactly mimicking what they're doing in cross-country skiing, because that's definitely not the case. But this is a great workout for strength, endurance, and it's going to make you tired a lot faster than you think.